Welcome, everyone. Let me get this thing started. 1 second. There we go.
Hey guys, yesterday, City Council had a meeting on immigration and refugee rights. And your alderman, which Andre Vasquez is the chairman, were proposing more legislation to protect illegal aliens. When have Democrats came up with new legislation or policies that benefit you, Americans? When? We just had an illegal alien in Chicago who had an illegal gun while having tuberculosis kill Sheridan Gorman, a college student at Loyola University, and your elected officials, your aldermen, would come to a meeting and then create and come up with more legislation to protect these illegal alien criminals. Now think about it. We just had skyrocketing property taxes. Crime is through the roof. I don't care. Don't let nobody tell you crime is down. We had teen takeovers on the train. We've had people being set on fire, shot, murdered, homeless, people riding the train all day, night. And the only thing your elected officials can come up with, no legislation to help us, the American citizens, to help us with all of those things I just named. Nothing. Only gaslighting for us. But they can come into a meeting after we just had this shooting. And let's not forget Prince Jamel Sullivan, a young man who was killed by an illegal alien who crashed into his car and his car blew up. No legislation, nothing, no policies, nothing to help you, but they can come and figure out more ways to protect illegal aliens. This is some of the legislation they came up with yesterday. Weekly reporting on city immigration enforcement, ICE, or they want weekly reporting. The first bill, 02025-0019959, calls for weekly reporting on all city interactions with federal immigration enforcement. The city is making sure that their dealings with federal immigration agencies are constantly monitored and protected. Okay, so let's ask this question. What about the hardworking people of Chicago? Reporting on the mismanagement of our tax dollars and how much money we spent on funding illegal aliens' free lifestyle. Why aren't we requiring reporting on that, on the high crime that we are experiencing in our communities and city? Why aren't we reporting on that? Why aren't we reporting on how many illegal alien criminals that have been locked up and being released back into our community? How come we're not reporting on that? And how come they're not held accountable for that? Because Pritzker just released 1,700 rapists, murderers, pedophiles, illegal aliens back out of the jails and back into our communities. So how come we don't require, or your elected officials,
because we're being replaced,
don't require reporting on that? Comprehensive data on city and federal interaction. Then there's OR 2026-0023367, which seeks to gather comprehensive data on city employees and federal agents' interactions with illegal aliens from January 2025 and onward. While the residents are suffering, instead, we are focusing on ensuring that we track down the movement of ICE agents on behalf of illegal aliens. The next one is OR 2026-0023360, This looks at which city contractors profit from immigration enforcement activities. While it's important to understand financial ties, we must ask ourselves, why is the city retaliating against those who help federal officers like ICE? Instead of supporting the people who work with federal law enforcement to protect our communities, this legislation targets them, all while taxpayers are left to shoulder the burden with higher fees and taxes. So ask yourself, why are we punishing businesses and contractors who are doing their part to help keep us safe? 5. Amending the OEMC responsibilities. OR 2026 00235359 proposes changing the responsibility of the Office of Emergency Management Communications to ensure they review how the city communication is with federal immigration enforcement in the activities. So the city wants to ensure everyone is aware when federal immigration enforcement is happening, aka ICE. But why isn't the same priorities given to emergency communications when crime happens or when an illegal alien kill a citizen? Why we can't use that to communicate with the citizens and let us know the danger we're in? Now, this one blew my mind, guys. Towing relief for impacted vehicles. OR 2026 00233361 provides towing relief for vehicles impacted by immigration enforcement actions. Now, this shows the city's priority, offering relief to illegal aliens for issues caused by immigration enforcement. But when it comes to Chicagoans, especially the working class, there's no relief for rising taxes or failing infrastructure. So they want relief for illegal aliens whose car have been towed or taken away.
Must be nice, Tammy. Did you have the cookout?
Through ICE interactions. They want to pay for them and give them relief. Now, mind you, we are paying for that. The taxpayers, we are already paying.
They're teasing us. It's going to be in the 60s tomorrow. Then it goes back down to like the 30s.
For their lawyers. And now they want us to pay their towing fees, get them towing relief. Because they are here illegally and they have an illegal driver's license and they're able to purchase cars that some of us can't even purchase. We don't have the money for, but yet they want us to pay for their towing fees in case they
see the price of brand new cars these days. It's insane. The whole buyback crap was a bummer. I played part of that yesterday. It was all about tripling the cost of cars.
Come across or interaction with ICE officers, and their car gets towed. They want us to help them pay the fee and pay to get their car back. Okay. Instead of protecting the rights and livelihoods of American citizens, the city is stepping in to ensure that illegal aliens face few consequences for their illegal actions. This legislation is just another example of how our city government is working against the people it was elected to serve. So there you have it. I don't know what else the Democrats have to show you to prove to you and show you don't matter to them. They care nothing about you. I don't know what else do we have to show you to let you see that you don't matter to them. Everything they're doing, when I told you legislation, policies, everything they're doing is to protect your replacement. They don't care nothing about you. If your kid, if you get killed by an illegal alien, then you're not getting any help because that illegal alien is going to be protected. This is what this is who matter to the Democratic Party, to your elected officials.
It absolutely does. It matters to them because they can keep making money off the tax dollars. As long as they can stay in power and keep passing stuff and working with the deep state.
Not only do we have to worry about the local crime and the crime that the American citizens are committing on the American citizens, we have to worry about them importing millions of illegal aliens, unvetted illegal aliens. We have to worry about their
Hey,
crime
Colin.
that's being implemented on the American citizens. So we have no relief. We have no relief for the local crime that's implemented on us or from foreigners. Their crime that's
Yeah, Colin, it's bad here, but it's even worse there from what I'm seeing.
implemented on us. So the Americans are just out here unprotected. And all we have is these elected officials trying to gaslight us and tell us the crime is down. Nothing to worry about. And we see with our own eyes that's not true. We
Seems like a lot of the illegals that come in and they're leaving them in here are violent too.
witness every day it's a murder, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Chicago. Kids, teenagers, young adults, old elderly citizens. Somebody is getting killed in Chicago every single day. Multiple people. Shootings, we're not even going to talk about that. Most shootings don't even go reported. So as you can see, the Democrats know what to do to make your life better. They know what to do. They just don't want to because they're coming up with all kinds of ways.
Hey, Charles.
Legislation, executive orders, policies to protect illegal aliens who's not even here legally, who's not even legal citizens. But they're coming up with policies to make their lives affordable, to make their lives safer, to protect them for federal enforcement. They're thinking of ways and coming up with ways to make that happen. They could do the same for you to make your life safer, to make your life affordable for those property taxes. They can come up with the same legislation for you if you was a priority. So that just shows you guys you're not. And you all can hate me. You all cannot like me for coming and telling you the truth, but I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep trying to wake us up because I'm doing it for the youth. The young kids get it. It's like that Loyola University college student who came up there when we were protesting Maria Hatton's office. He came up there and spoke and said, they're tired. They're tired. This don't make no sense. They know it don't make no sense. And they're speaking up because they cannot keep allowing this. They're tired. And this was just the icing on the cake. So we're doing it for the youth. The youth get it. And hey, all hands on deck, guys. Love you.
Yep, she's got her head screwed on right, I tell you that. All right, our FDA is worthless, basically.
Our government is letting U.S. food companies get away with serving American citizens harmful ingredients that are banned or heavily regulated in other countries. Even worse, American food companies are selling the same exact products overseas without these chemicals, but choose to continue serving us the most toxic version here. It's un-American. Let me give you some examples of McDonald's French fries. In the US, there's 11 ingredients. In the UK, there's 3, and salt is optional. An ingredient called dimethylpolysiloxane is an ingredient preserved with formaldehyde, a neurotoxin.
How's that get into the potato? Did I cut that off early? I didn't mean to.
Polysiloxane is an ingredient preserved with formaldehyde, a neurotoxin.
Oh, okay. That's where it did end. Yeah. How is it part of a potato? I mean, back when I worked at a restaurant called Lum's, we made the potatoes ourselves there and freeze it, and then you cook them in deep fryer. The ingredients was potato, and you put salt on it. Back then, we didn't know the salt was that bad. I don't know.
$250 million of our taxpayer money was handed out to build a nuclear power plant in Utah. But where is the nuclear power plant?
Yeah, $250 million so far, and nothing is done.
Federal government handed out a massive grant to a company called CFPP LLC. The exact amount was $231 million. But the nuclear power plant does not exist. But when you look at the federal grant application, it still has $231 million applied to this address in Salt Lake City. And this address is not a research lab. It's
Charles, did you have an x-ray or something? What happened? Yeah, you probably pulled a muscle, if it's lumped up especially. Swollen up or anything like that, Charles.
not a power plant. It's not anything. It's a corporate office building.
Maybe someone
If the project is dead,
maybe in chat we'll figure it out better for you. I'm not great at that.
where did that cash go? Do we get a refund? If this video gets 500 likes, I will personally visit this office building and help track down what is happening, because we deserve to be told what is happening with our taxpayer dollars. And follow along if you want to help catch financial ghosts.
All right, he's talking about no one's going along with this weird crap. Well, watch this.
You might not like the truth, but I'll never tell a lie. If you're part of the LGBTQ plus community, this post is probably not going to sit well with you, but it needs to be said, and needs to be said by someone like me. Because we spent the past 5 years building an entire culture around denial, and I'm done pretending I'm gay, but I do not live my life through that label. I am not defined by it. I don't expect to be applauded for it. I don't wear it as a shield to avoid criticism. And I don't wear it as a costume. Facts, science, and reality have been forced to kneel to people's feelings. We now live in an era where we're forced to participate in someone else's delusion. And if you don't, you're labeled hateful. We're told that
if you had an x-ray, you had seen a doctor, what did they think it was?
pronouns are sacred, language must be rewritten, and the truth must be denied, all to validate someone's internal monologue. Cynthia Erivo says they, them are people who are simply more. Yes, ho, I agree. More fucking obnoxious than the rest of us, 100%. And if we don't comply, we're punished, we're silenced, we're even fired from our fucking jobs. And this is coming from the people who say they're the most tolerant. That's not compassion, ho. That's coercion. And now we're being told that the truth is offensive. If someone feels like a woman, that we all have to affirm it. When did science become offensive? When did objective reality turn into hate speech? Let's be real fucking honest right now. If you have to
It's hate speech because they want to claim they're a victim.
put the word trans in front of women, you're the one admitting that it's not the same thing. If you have to take synthetic hormones and get surgeries done to appropriate the opposite sex, oh, you're not transitioning, you're imitating.
It's plastic surgery, that's all it is. They're just altering your outer looks. It's not changing anything else.
I know the truth. My feelings. Biological sex is not a costume, and it cannot be rebranded into feeling. Doesn't matter how many of you or how many companies try to repeat a lie, repetition does not make something true. The community used to fight for freedom. Now it fights to silence anyone who doesn't follow their script. Even its own members. Yeah, that's not community, that's called a cult. Oh yes, bitch. They're trying to tell us that this movement is about inclusion. However, it's coming at the expense of biological women. Real women. Not that cis bullshit that you try to shove down our throats. Women. Period. Girls are being forced to compete against biological boys. Little gay boys running around thinking that they're girls. These are sports that girls have been trained.
Charles, is it red? I mean, is there any possibility of any slight internal bleeding?
Their whole lives, right, to compete in, and then these little gay boys just, I'm a girl now, so I'm gonna compete. These girls are getting their scholarships taken away, they're getting their futures taken away, and their titles. We're told that we're supposed to clap for this bullshit, that we're supposed to cheer this on, and they're trying to tell us that this is progress. No, bitch, this is not progress. You know what it is? Pathetic. But it actually does make sense, doesn't it, right? The Democratic Party can't even define what a woman is. Isn't it so funny? They call themselves feminists, yet the women they're defending are men. Oh. And things with this party just get more disturbing. Now we're telling children that are probably confused, anxious, probably just little gay boys and little gay girls, that they're trapped in the wrong body. Try to give it a cute little name like gender affirming care. What is gender affirming care? Puberty blockers, synthetic hormones, double mastectomies on 15-year-old girls, castration, and genital mutilation on little boys. This is not healthcare. No. This is homophobic. Oh, yes, it is. But y'all are too fucking dumb and have your heads so far up your asses that you can't see it. Instead of guiding these little kids into reality, we're tricking them into thinking that they're in the wrong body so that they get put on all this bullshit, and then the medical field has a customer for life.
Then they go out and shoot someone.
Not to mention the fact that they've already sterilized an entire generation. Let that shit sink in. Again, they have sterilized an entire generation. Yet, if anybody speaks up, whether
Hey,
you're a
Mark.
scientist, a doctor, or a gay man like me, oh, you're a bigot, you're a transphobe. Well, guess what, bitch? That shit don't work with me. No, 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 no. You can't cancel me. You can't cancel the motherfucking truth. You can't. I motherfucking check. The LGBTQ mafia does not pay my motherfucking bills. No, it doesn't. This has become less about who you are and more about staying on script. If you don't chant their slogans, if you don't use their pronouns, if you dare to ask questions, you're out. That's not community, bitch. That's called control. Your reality check, okay? You can change your name. You can change your clothes. You can even change your pronouns. You will never be able to change your chromosomes. No, no, no. You will never be able to override biology, and you will never be greater than God. And if that truth offends you, the problem isn't with the truth. The problem is with the lie that you've built your life around. Hate to break it to you, but now I want to hear from you guys. If you found a lie in this post, please let me know down below. And as always, love you guys. Peace.
Yep, I agree.
Let me tell you something. Fuck this fucking Democratic Party and fuck these bastards. I can't believe I'm cursing like this first thing in the morning, but I can't help it. This is ridiculous what I'm seeing right now on the news. As usual, the fake news, okay?
Okay, Charles.
Yeah, they're saying, oh, Iran doesn't want to negotiate a ceasefire. Oh, Iran. Listen, these bastards are talking as if we're losing this war. We're not. We're not at all. I have inside people, okay, that like are military people. We're not even close to losing this war, okay? And you want to know the truth? I want to finish them. I want them gone. I want them eradicated.
Absolutely.
I don't care. I'm sick of this Muslim fucking nonsense.
You leave any of them around in power, they'll just reconstitute and be even worse the next time around.
Those fucking radical Muslims, I'm done with them. I'm done with them. Okay, I got one right here in New York City running my fucking city. This piece of shit. Okay? This garbage that on St. Patrick's Day, instead of saying to St. Patty, who was a Catholic, has the audacity to bring Free Palestine into St. Patty's Day. It was insanity. I had enough. Yeah, Iran, you don't want to negotiate? Let's go to war. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's eradicate these bastards. Let's do it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not afraid. I don't have fear in my heart. Okay? I want it done. I want it over. And every time I turn on the news and I see these effing liberal bastards putting down our country, putting down our military. Bitch, why don't you go live in Iran? Why don't you fucking go live there? Okay? I'm sick of it. America is the best country in the fucking world. If you don't like it, leave it.
Amen on that. All right, the government in California, Democrats are using satellite images to find certain structures.
How is one California county using cannabis and grainy satellite images to extort millions from homeowners? This is Doug and Corrine Thomas. They run an autism nonprofit, but are mostly retired. In 2021, they moved to Humboldt County after their home burned down in the LA County wildfires. And 6 days later, their dream property turned into a nightmare. The county sent a letter saying this barn was built without a permit and prior owners did use it for growing weed. So they had 10 days to demo the barn or face fines of $12,000 per day. And ignoring the letter would result in a $900,000 lien placed on their property, which could then be sold at a tax sale. But the Thomases were confused. Their home had a clean title. How is this possible? Well, Humboldt County is part of the Emerald Triangle.
Big government for you.
Triangle. For decades, it's been a hotspot for OG growers. And after California went legal, the county wanted its cut. So they created an environmental response team to supposedly protect a sensitive ecosystem. In reality, it was used to weed out black market growers and incentivize them into the legal industry. They'd use old grainy satellite images to look for unpermitted development, like barns and greenhouses, grading, and even the removal of too many trees, because those things must mean you're growing weed. However, in Humboldt, people have developed property and lived off the land without permits for generations. But the county didn't care. They had a quota to meet. 50 permit violations a week. And because those were connected to cannabis, they became a Category 4 offense, which was actually 3 separate violations, meaning more money for the state. But new homeowners like the Thomases had no idea about any of this. Even though the county was required to report title violations, they hadn't. For years. If people did challenge the penalties, the county took literally 4.5 years to even schedule a hearing. Now, most people would assume you could just get a permit and solve the problem. But the county said, nope. They want property owners to return the land to its original condition. For the Thomases, this meant $200,000 to remove the barn, which might not even be possible because it's surrounded by protected.
Well, of course, unless you pay off some politicians, then you can get whatever you want.
Old growth forest. The only way out of this ordeal? To settle. The county wanted the Thomases to falsely admit growing weed, waive any right to trial, allow the government access to their land forever, demo the barn, and pay $1 million in fines. The county did offer to waive the fines under one condition. You apply for a commercial grow license. To date, Humboldt County has charged over 1,200 property owners using this racket and dished out hundreds of millions in fines. And I'm not saying it's a land grab, but the county has used this scheme to seize dozens of properties. It's why the Institute for Justice is suing. They argue any fines must be comparable to...
Seems like there should be some class action lawsuit against the government. It is a money grab and a land grab.
...the offense, and that state and local governments must provide a jury trial before imposing life-altering penalties. So
it's either that or you just start growing to meet their criteria, but then you got to pay them all their taxes. I don't know, you'd have to sell all that pot, too.
How are Humboldt County's actions any different than mob rule?
I don't know how it is. Okay, here are the convoys. There's the Islamic regime is now putting women and little 12-year-old kids and everything to try to keep the people in line in Iran from keeping them from uprising. Watch this.
Iran, Iran, shahadat.
See, those are women with the guns they're putting on the back of these pickups, going around keeping all the people in line so they don't rise up to throw the government out. Or the regime, I should say. All of the guns? A lot of the guys have left. The extremist guys. There's the extremist right behind him. I guess the other one's set to shoot first, so in case they get shot. Did I play that all the way or not? I thought I jumped ahead. That's how desperate they are. I know they've starting to put 12-year-olds in charge of the guns to keep all the people in line still. It won't last that much longer.
Are statistics racist? I don't know, but new data from the German Bundeskriminalamt shows the following. Per 100,000 residents, the violent crime suspects in Germany by citizenship are as follows. Algeria delivers 6,900 people per 100,000, so 6.9% of violent crime suspects. Next up is Morocco.
So everyone's weather getting better, or it's getting warmer here, at least for the next couple days.
With 5,000 people. Then Syria with 1,700, and Afghanistan also 1,700. Now guess how many violent crime suspects Germany has per 100,000 people. So actual Germans. Is it 6,000 like Algeria? Is it 5,000 like Morocco? No, it's not anything close. It's 163. 163. So less than 0.2%. So non-Germans make up roughly 15% of Germany's population, but they account for approximately 41% of all criminal activities and roughly 40.7% of suspects in violent crime categories. So that just shows you the real data and why Europe is getting much and much unsafer. So is it a man problem or is it an immigrant problem? The statistics may be racist, I don't know. Follow me down below. My name is Mees Wijnands and you need to follow me because you won't see any of this on the mainstream media.
Yeah, it's illegal. It's a different culture for one. Plus, they're a lot more violent than that, it seems to me. She says she wants to know how liberalism and they push for the woke ideologies. There she goes.
If liberalism wasn't a mental disorder, please tell me why all the liberal European countries are protecting criminals, pedophiles, and everything, and then going after hurt words and truths. Why is every country in Europe, including Canada and Australia and the UK, going after freedom of speech and encouraging victims to take their own lives while the criminals and perpetrators walk free? What kind of progressiveness is this? What kind of pro-women's rights is this? I just want somebody to try and explain to me how you can look at these stories and not realize that wokeism is actually leading to full-on tyranny. Pause to read this. Who died of euthanasia revealed harrowing details of 3 separate in final interview. That is this young woman in question.
It's a rape victim.
Who suffered so badly with her struggles of depression because of what happened to her that she took her own life. She already tried to once, which gave her irreversible spinal cord injury, which made her, eligible for it.
I think that's the one that committed, or the government wanted to kill her. Suicide. Government-assisted suicide.
Please tell me how this is protecting women. Now let's go to Finland, where 7-year legal battle, where she wrote a Bible scripture in a pamphlet, and they were going to basically convict her under hate speech and war crimes and crimes against humanity. After the court said this, the court stated that although the booklet did not incite hatred or violence and was not particularly serious, the accused were nonetheless criminally liable for having made available to the public and kept available to the public opinions that insult a certain group based on their sexual orientation. And in Canada, the Supreme Court of
no trans.
Canada has ruled that a 2011
can't insult a trans
change to the criminal code requiring sex offenders to automatically be added to the sex offender registry is unconstitutional. So, according to liberals, a child offender needs rights to not be known as a child offender, and the poor rape victim needs to take her own life because the laws are just too lax to put them away in jail. But words, how dare you words? And you want to know why? That's because the government has spent so much money brainwashing these lobotomized losers that they cannot lose another person, even remotely gaining a brain cell, to look at this and realize that the liberals actually have a plan to destroy the world. And it's not the utopia that they're telling you it's going to be. It's actually going to be very dystopian, right? And that is why they have to put in laws to not allow us to wake other people up, because then it's going to be called hate speech. But the government sure can push like jabs on us with zero evidence of it being safely because, the experts were paid to say so. Isn't it great?
Not so much. Not really. Women are not collateral damage, is what she talks about.
Well, finally, we have some good news. The federal government is investigating California for putting men in women's prisons. The Justice Department announced recently that the Civil Rights Department is going to start investigating California for allowing men who say they identify as women to get transferred to the women's facility. Now, if you're new, this law took place when COVID hit. It was SB 132, and it allows for men to self-identify as women, and they can get transferred right off the bus and go into the women's facility. Now, after years of this being implemented and FOIA requests, public records requests, we know that women are being assaulted, they're being abused mentally, physically, emotionally. Instead of the state actually addressing this, they just decided to give the women Plan B pills and condoms in the hopes that the attackers will put one on before they attack. And there's also
in a woman's prison, why would you need condoms normally?
Allegations that one of the predators is spreading HIV through these assaults. It is horrendous what is happening to incarcerated women. One of the most
He's got HIV, why are you putting him in with women?
Vulnerable communities that we have. They are stuck in a cage with these predators who know loopholes that Senator Scott Wiener and Gavin Newsom have created. It's awful, and it's about time that something is done about it. And none of these Democrats in leadership can say that they don't know. I know personally they know, because we have had sit-down meetings and conversations talking about this horrific, I can't even say it's a law, because it's so outrageous that these lawmakers have decided, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and for my ideology, we're going to allow predators to prey on women, and when they report it, we're just going to take their date away from them. The main reason why a lot of these Democrats in leadership told us that they weren't able to do anything is because Scott Wiener is there, and Scott Wiener is one of the more powerful senators that we have in California. Him with one of the more powerful lobby firms, Equality California, make it very clear to other Democrat representatives that if they even try to touch this, good luck. This is way long overdue, because nowhere in sentencing does it say, okay, you've committed this crime, now you're going to have to do the time, and assault is part of your sentencing. So we'll see what happens. It's really unfortunate that it's gotten this far, and that women are being forced into this situation for, what Scott Wiener calls girl time.
He's a girl, if you ask me. All right, an illegal alien set free from Mexico. He's from Mexico, set free in Illinois courts. Watch it.
This horrific story involves an American woman's body stuffed into a trash can, covered in chemicals, and left to decompose by an illegal alien. It's back in the news now that Illinois is in the national spotlight for another illegal alien murder. This is from DHS. The Department of Homeland Security highlights the tragic story of Megan Boss, an Illinois woman whose body was found partially decomposed in a garbage can in Waukegan, Illinois on April 10th, 2025. Boss would have celebrated her 38th birthday this month. Boss was allegedly visiting the home of Luis Mendoza Gonzalez, an illegal alien from Mexico, who made claims she was under the influence of drugs. During the event, Mendoza Gonzalez claims to have found Boz unresponsive, believing she had died from an overdose. Mendoza Gonzalez left her body in the basement for days before throwing it away in a garbage can in his yard. This is a human being. Eventually pouring bleach on her corpse and leaving her there for nearly 2 months. Mendoza Gonzalez was charged with abuse of a corpse, 2 counts of concealing the death of a person, and obstructing justice.
Charged with abuse of her corpse? What about murdering her?
Justice. The charges are Class 4 felonies, but none are detainable offenses under Sanctuary Governor J.B. Pritzker. Catch that?
Oh, so we have to keep him. He can't get deported.
Consequently, the illegal alien walked free after the conclusion of his court appearance. On July 19th, 2025, ICE officers in Chicago arrested him. The courts in Illinois just thought this guy should go free. That's what's going on in Democrat cities and states. Thank you for ICE for picking this man up so he can't torture another family the way he's tortured this poor girl's family. This is unbelievable.
Oh, there's always many stories like that. All right, this story, Congresswoman Lisa McCain, I lost the highlight of it. This tells you everything you need to know about the Democrats, why they want open borders.
Hello, everyone. Congresswoman Lisa McClain here. I want to set the record straight on what the bill that the Senate sent over to us last night includes, or I should say doesn't include. And I'm not going to give you my opinion. I'm going to read it right from page 3 of the actual bill that the Senate sent over to us in the middle of the night. And I quote, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in the Department of Homeland Security Act 2026 table shall be 0. What that means is 0 funding for border security. 0. What the Democrats want is an open border policy like we had under Biden, and I absolutely will not accept that and will not vote for that. That's why we're not taking up the Senate bill.
As they shouldn't. They have a lot of sneaky ways to get what they want. You know, they'll put a good name on something or put it in with something that's popular. That's what they're always doing constantly. They're backstabbing us whenever they can. How can we allow these people to do this?
Hey, Cass County, remember how I told you that there was a man who thinks he's a woman who's running for a school board candidate? Well, He went to the little board meeting thing and answered a bunch of questions. Here's some highlights.
Watch this. This is good.
Candidate Walsh, what responsibility does a board member have to listen to community concerns while still making decisions in the best interest of all students?
Hi. I've actually faced this head on recently, concerns from the community, which
He really does not sound normal.
is important. Transgender has been quite a topic lately on Facebook.
What? Who started that? Dang.
There's concerns from the community about transgender in the bathrooms, transgender in the locker rooms. We have in our school district many transgender.
Stay out of women's spaces.
Children. We have LGBT in our schools. We're not here to hurt anybody. We just want to live.
No, just the groomers, right?
Pursuit of happiness.
Obviously, y'all can watch the full
And they have sex with your little kids.
video on YouTube. It's like a 2-hour video, fast forward over halfway through. I want to point out when I watched it, most of his answers were all about kids. Also, he's a therapist for kids.
Why do you want to serve on the Board of Education, and why should someone vote for you?
Well, I want to serve on the board to make a difference in the schools. Now, I've heard about, well, you can't don't bring a personal agenda, but I do have some agenda. I do have some concerns. I really have a passion for those with mental health diagnoses. I hope the community,
which you are one, has a mental health issue.
Agrees with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your response.
The truth comes out. He has a personal agenda and he wants to be around children. That's what I gathered from it. But y'all can watch that video and let me know what you think.
Said the secret part out loud, right? All right, this is about exposing Obamacare and how they were using it for massive fraud. Ever since Obamacare came in, insurance fraud, basically.
There's a lot of issues within healthcare. As you stated, the GAO report was a request that myself, Chairman Jordan, and Chairman Kathy Morse Rogers did last year. And the findings that came out this week are pretty disturbing. Just one Social Security number had more than 125 different policies tied to it. You have 59,000 people that they verified that were dead, and they were continuing to get subsidies to the insurance companies. And then if you look at just the 24 million people that's on the exchanges that everyone's talking about, roughly 12 million last year did not even file one medical claim because they didn't know they had health insurance. It's not that they didn't have medical claims, simply fact the insurance companies were being subsidized, but these people were automatically enrolled and didn't know. But when we look at healthcare, what we're discussing right now in Washington is how can we lower the cost of healthcare for all Americans? How can we lower the cost of premiums for all Americans? How can we create more access?
Yep. It's all a scam, really, in a way. That's why you want more like the way Trump wants it, where you purchase your own using the government paperwork, you know what I'm saying? So they would have to try to sell it to you. So a lot of dead people wouldn't get it either that way, this is what it looks like when free Iran meets the free Cuba people. All right, here's some people standing up for the Persians or free Iran things on the activists get there, the extremists fighting against them. And I think this is New York City.
And I got to tell you, that by the good grace of God, me and my little buddy behind it, Persians for Trump, we're alive today because 3 weeks ago we were there in New York City. We were peacefully protesting against the Nation of Islam.
Hey,
we
Charles.
marched to Gracie Mansion. We marched to let Zohran Mamdani that this doesn't belong here.
Marianne, I couldn't agree more with you on getting rid of the illegals.
And all of a sudden, heard chatter coming off my right-hand side, Ali Akbar, and this IED weapon landed right in front of my feet.
You were the guy they threw the IED at?
No, I'm the guy that threw the IED at the peaceful protester.
Yeah, give Cuba back to the people there. That's what they need.
And by the good grace,
give them real elections.
To God, that did not ignite.
Wow.
And I have.
So they're more dangerous. By the way, let me see that T-shirt back here. Persians for Trump.
Oh, I had a prescription to get. Oh, okay.
What is Persians?
That was fast, Charles, to get it that fast.
Persians for Trump. What is that?
Well, okay, I'm proud to represent the Iranian American community and their quest for freedom after 47 years of oppression and tyranny under the Islamic regime. And I cannot tell you how grateful the people of Iran and the Iranian American diaspora is for President Trump, because no other president had the courage to stand up to the Islamic regime. And there is not a single Iranian American who does not like Trump. President Trump, you hear me loud and clear? We love you and we'll forever be grateful. You are the next King Cyrus the Great.
Hang on. If the people in Iran overthrew radical Islam, would they be a great ally? Would the Persians be a great ally to America?
Oh, you have no idea, brother. The Persians will be the greatest ally ever. One of the most ancient civilizations, one of the most beautiful people. And they have a lot of handsome gentlemen like myself.
I have to agree with them 100%.
You can see that.
Okay, one more. What's your message to the American people about?
I just think the best way is for them to overthrow the regime. Although the mullahs don't seem like they're in power anymore. It's the RGCP, which is the extreme military group in their country right now. And there's 5 different factions kind of squabbling with each other right now so far.
Mamdani and how the elites in New York City are surrendering the greatest city in the world without a fight.
My message to the country here is New York is ground zero. That man ended Executive Order 61 the very first day, which was all protection against the synagogues in New York City. He basically said the Jewish community's on.
I'm just hoping it should, and 90% of the funding for terrorists.
Your own. His wife is running around with racial slurs against the black community. The black community is on their own. I'm asking for the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Colombians, the Brazilians.
And it should be over soon. I thought it'd be over sooner than this, actually. But they're just trying to wait it out. If they last, no matter how much military equipment we take out and this and that, they end up lasting and they end up back in power, they'll be worse than ever.
It's the Jews, the Christians. I'm Jewish, and I'm even smart enough to know that I live in a Christian nation. They don't have a brain to understand.
Amen.
That. Woo!
Greatest nation on earth. Do you have a social media site? How do we get to you?
You can find me. My name is The Midnight. I'm all over social media. On Instagram, it's The Midnight 123. Woo!
Amen, brother. Fantastic.
I never seen that guy before, to be honest. All right, here's in Syria, a group of young Muslims in a Christian town here. They throw the what was happening is this is in Syria. They went and attacked, and they were raping a lot of the Christian women, this and that, Muslim group. So the Christian men came and kicked them all out. And then they came back. Well, I got 2 clips on this. They came back with the Sharia law police in Syria now, since they've taken over the country. And they came and arrested all the Muslim men. Then they came back and trashed all their shops and their homes and this and that. And then they took and raped the women anyways. I guess in Sharia law, it's okay to rape women. I don't know. This is the part where the men are kicking them out. Then you'll see the cops come in. See the cop cars? Those are Sharia law cops. Now they're being pushed back by Christians right now, and then they hop on all the cop cars, all these Muslim men, and they come back at them. See how they're loading up on the cop cars? And in them too. Now here's a lot of them coming back to the shop. They're going to trash those places. After they get the cops to arrest the Christian men. All right, here's part 2. Now they're going up to the houses and inside the houses. Unbelievable. All right, here's a little humor cartoon made in Iran about the bombs coming. Watch this. They like the bombs going over top, I guess. I don't know. Oh boy, I don't know. This is about legal that an illegal came in and killed the 60-year-old resident.
Right now, they're trying to figure out where this guy is in the state of New Jersey or elsewhere. There's this ongoing manhunt, and it comes as the New Jersey governor limits just how much police can work with ICE agents there in the Garden State. But right now, both agencies are trying to track down an illegal migrant accused of leaving a man on the road to die. So DHS says this is who they're looking for. Wilson Adrian Morocho Necta. He ran over a guy in Morristown, New Jersey just last week. And then, Sandra, he ran off. He left this 68-year-old man pinned underneath his truck, and that man later died. This is him, Justo Pilko Tenesaka. So he was rushed to the hospital there in New Jersey. He didn't make it. Let him into the country.
You definitely can do, Marianne, almost anything to a woman.
Illegally from Ecuador, if we can pull up his picture as well. And he crossed into the United States at the southern border back in 2019. He was deported, but DHS says he just came right back in again. So the search is going on as the governor there, Mikey Sherrill, adds new restrictions on ICE agents, including a ban on the agents wearing masks.
The United States of America, we're not going to tolerate masked roving militias pretending to be well-trained law enforcement agents.
So DHS tells Fox the attempt to ban federal law enforcement here from wearing masks in New Jersey is reckless, it's dangerous and irresponsible. DHS says they're not going to listen to Governor Sherrill, so we'll see what happens next. Maybe Governor Sherrill will see those ICE agents at the Newark airport and talk to them there, Sandra.
Yeah, exactly. Alexis, thank you.
I think I showed part of this one yesterday, but this is another angle of it or whatever. The Iranian resistance people are starting to get rid of the fighters. This one's actually a week old, but sometimes it takes like a good week to get out on the web, because the internet, they're locking down there. So the resistance in Iran is starting to get rid of the people that control the checkpoints and all that kind of stuff. In fact, a lot of the people at the checkpoints have run away. That's one of the checkpoint cars. I think I'm going to do the. I have one saved up from Steve Turley. Here, it's a good one.
So picture this. You're watching the news or you're scrolling through your X feed on a quiet Saturday evening, and you're half expecting the usual flood of triumphant legacy media headlines declaring that tens of millions of outraged Americans have taken to the streets and finally brought down the Trump administration in a glorious.
I guess the numbers weren't all that great for the No Kings protest.
Nonviolent uprising of democracy. I mean, that's been the breathless promise all week, hasn't it? Thousands upon thousands of No Kings events erupting throughout the entire nation, the biggest protest in modern American history.
Oh, damn.
But then the actual footage starts coming in, and instead of a glorious revolution, instead of a massive wave of fired up Americans demanding justice, you see geriatric white liberals waving pre-printed signs, Antifa masks, and literal communist flags with the hammer and sickle, and even someone spray painting "Kill Your Local ICE Agent" on a federal building. And you suddenly realize this isn't a movement. This is a meltdown. Welcome to the spectacular, chaotic, self-defeating disaster that was No Kings 3.0. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you make sense of the madness with breaking news and analysis. And also, I want to invite you into something deep, members, to tackle the case, to act right alongside with you. Scan the queue online in abject horror. The far left
Look at all these commie flags.
Desperately trying for the third time.
Here. See? That's a hammer and sickle. They're total socialists.
To stage a massive, unified, totally organic, of course, non-astroturfed, non-King's Day throughout the nation. Now, what organizers promised would be a tectonic shift in American politics. I
don't think they have to. They don't have to follow it even without an emergency sanctuary laws.
Mobilization of millions across 33.
It's just that when they put them in jails, they're letting them out. A lot of these judges and cops they're letting them out of these jails before the ICE can come and get them. So they have to go and do the whole scene of rearresting him and all that, and they got all the leftists protecting him and all that crap.
100 events in all 50 states. It turned into what can only be described as the political equivalent of a far-left frat party that ended up with...
There's also China funding some of this.
Police being called. In L.A.
Oh, and don't forget Bill Gates.
No Kings leftists began smashing up cement blocks and putting them in their pockets before moving towards DHS federal agents. Protesters were assaulting federal law enforcement officers with literal concrete blocks. In fact, you even had some nut spray paint "Kill Your Local ICE Agent" on a federal building. And as a result, there were dozens of arrests. They
were taking those rocks and big chunks of them and throwing them and hitting cops.
Scenes from Portland, if you can believe it. Law enforcement had a zero-tolerance policy for violence, and they cracked down hard on these protesters, which was
Dan, and every one of those organizations, all 500 organizations, are all far left-wing communist organizations.
Pattern repeated in cities all across the country.
They want to abolish the family. They want to get rid of the family unit, and then we'll all be comrades. All like, on Star Trek with the Borg, programmed little...
Enforcement wasn't going to tolerate nonsense. Like I said earlier, this isn't a movement. It's a meltdown.
Tax dollars.
It's a collective meltdown by some of the most...
NGO money. They're getting it from our government.
Neurotic people on the planet.
We need to end the NGOs. That's where the tax dollars are going. That's why the USAID thing was big to get rid of that. That's where they were getting a lot of their money. But that's probably only about 20 or 30%. Public radio, the abortion money, Planned Parenthood, all that money is going away. So they don't have that now, and they're desperately fighting to get control back of the government so they can get all that money back.
And we're going to see exactly why in a moment. Here's probably my favorite photo of the day. Here's a liberal white woman who probably lives alone with her cats. And look at her sign. My dog, well, sorry, I stand corrected. She lives alone with her dog. My dog is smarter than Trump. And the than is spelled T-H-E-N. Must be someone who graduated from the Laring Center.
Dan, it's 100% government money, I think.
In Minneapolis. This is the Democrat Party. This is the modern day Democrat Party. And no one pointed that out better than the great Scott Jennings.
These No Kings rallies actually look pretty representative to me of the Democratic coalition. I saw people flying the hammer and sickle in New York City. I saw Hezbollah flags. I saw Hamas flags. I saw Palestinian flags. I saw trans signs.
It's all take down America.
I see weirdo liberal boomers out there. This is pretty representative of the Democratic coalition, and that's who funds it as well, by the way. And so I think if America looks at this and says, what do the two parties stand for? They got it at the No Kings rally.
No, I think if you Americans were out there, out there, Republicans.
You like hammer and sickle? You like hammer and sickle flag?
That's not what that No King stood for.
They had a bunch
of
them.
That, and that is
they come from somewhere.
All right, well, No Kings rally? I did. I went to 6, and I'll tell you,
they were handing out pamphlets and everything to try to get them to join the Communist Party.
There's so much excitement. There's so much energy. Yeah,
that's a lot of free speech.
I'll get you a T-shirt. You should come.
That's a lot of free speech for a country with a king.
That's a lot of free speech. And I'll tell you, there's so much.
Bingo. Scott nailed it. Bingo. There's a whole lot of free speech going on in a nation ruled by a dictatorial king, ain't there?
If you order today, this
sorry
will
about
be
the
sitting
ads.
on your counter before
Coming
next
off of YouTube.
weekend. Let me be clear about what.
One ex account put it this way: 9 million attended the No Kings protest against President Trump. No protesters were killed. Millions of Iranians protested the Ayatollah and the Iranian regime. Over 30,000 were killed. They were shot by snipers. They were hanged.
Charles and Marianne, they came out of our school system. Maybe they're their teacher.
From cranes. Do you see the difference?
Oh, you did?
See, and 9 million, I think, is being a bit generous. A number of people who live in blue states have pointed out that the numbers were down significantly from the past two No Kings rallies. But regardless, more and more.
Dammy, I take that bet that the dog's smarter.
More people are recognizing the absurd performative contradiction inherent in these rallies, right? Most particularly the ones in New York City, flying the flag of a bona fide tyrannical regime responsible for the deaths of hundreds of millions worldwide. I mean, the very fact that these people could protest so freely on the streets completely contradicts what they claim to be protesting, right? They're like trying to push the bus they're trying to ride on. It's like they're saying we can't express ourselves with words. It's a performative contradiction.
Good one.
They're refuting what they're claiming by the act of claiming it.
I wonder if they got their diploma, Charles.
I love this. Someone flew a banner in the sky above the LA No Kings rally that said, "Not a king, he's your daddy." I love it. But all of this does raise a question, right? I mean, with all the performative contradictory antics, what on earth is really going on here? Right? Besides the Soros-funded NGOs, what's really driving these affluent white boomers into performing?
Soros gets a lot of government money, billions and billions.
This kind of absurdity. One New York psychologist has a fascinating insight into this, and it's going to absolutely blow you away. But first, did you sense? So when your gut microbiome is thriving, 597 participants in these rallies are indeed suffering from neurosis. The people who came out, many of them elderly, many of them retired, they admitted on camera that they couldn't enjoy a vacation. They couldn't enjoy time with their family or their loved ones, all because of their psychotic fixation with Donald Trump. And so the psychologists argued that these people are not protesting, they're medicating. Isn't that interesting? They're not protesting, they're medicating. They're using a political rally the way an addict uses a substance for temporary relief, for the dopamine hit of collective grievance, for the illusion of doing something meaningful while their movement quietly collapses all around them. And for me, what was most fascinating in this analysis is that the psychologists diagnosed politics as a form of religion for these protesters, right? Politics has become the new religion of the radical left. And in many respects, I have to say, there it is. Right there. There is this whole thing in a nutshell, right? When you strip out the transcendent, when you secularize everything, as the modern world attempted to do over the last century, when you privatize the churches, pushing them out of the public square itself becomes sacred. Government becomes your new church. Politics becomes your new evangelistic religion. And now the political enemy becomes demonic. And your protests become a revival meeting. Except instead of hope and transformation and grace, you're basically left with good old-fashioned pagan calls for human sacrifice. I mean, there's no grace in this leftist religion. There's no forgiveness. There's only blood guilt. If you're a political enemy, you need to be destroyed. You need to be sacrificed, and the land needs to be purged of you.
I'm seeing stuff that they're putting on the blue sky and stuff like that. They're talking about it when they get back in power, rounding all of us up that are conservative and putting us in jail. They want to jail us all, every one of us, and take away all our rights. And some of us, they want to crucify us. The ones on the left are so bad, they'd love to have us executed.
That's why these protests continue to increasingly descend into violence.
John
because
here?
violence
Hey, John,
is precisely what this bizarre hyper pagan religion requires. And you'll notice, because this is a cult, it only attracts particular kinds of people. The demographics, in the end, exposes this meltdown for what it really is. Like Scott Jennings said earlier, this matters enormously for understanding where the Democratic Party is right now. Everywhere you looked across the country this weekend, you saw a sea of overwhelmingly white, overwhelmingly older, overwhelmingly female, affluent liberals. Gen Z, the generation.
All these purple-haired nutcakes all came out of our colleges at one time, and probably a lot of them are the professors there.
The Democrats have been counting on to save them, to give them an unassailable electoral majority for the rest of the century, was nowhere to be found. Latinos, the other demographic on which Democrats have built their entire future projections, also nowhere to be found. These two demographics in particular that the Democrat Party has staked everything on had literally zero interest in this feeble political stunt. And the crowd that did show up, interestingly, they represented what social psychologists call symbolic management of protests. In other words, nobody's putting their livelihood at risk. Nobody's facing real consequences for their participation. The shutdown of what's called life choices. Nobody's sacrificing anything to do this. Just comfortable, affluent, white, elder liberals performing resistance to maintain their self-image as progressive activists while staying safely inside their comfortable liberal bubble.
This is the Regina Sweet Cherry Sapling. Plant it now and harvest your own cherries this May. Developed by a top...
Gang, this is why the right is winning. The left has gone.
A question to the chat. Does it seem like we're winning? It does, because I see, well, at least in other countries, the right is winning a lot of elections. The Christian conservative nationalists are winning a lot of elections or gaining a lot, if they're not winning, in a lot of other countries, like in Germany.
Demonstrably performative and psychotic. While the right, like a muscle that's been built through resistance, is fit. It's literally physically fit, flourishing in faith and family, having children while liberals are not, building thriving red states while blue states languish under the weight of their own failed policies.
And they can't chant
Trump
that
won the popular vote. He's implementing exact.
Dan, did you ever see some of them singing? They're pretty bad.
The policies he campaigned on democratically. And what we saw over the weekend is a microcosm of the sad.
I'm hearing they had less than half as many people. I don't know if they're running out of money or, all the ones that weren't paid didn't come as much.
Dying state of the Democrat Party. No Kings 3.0.
They were still bussing them in by the huge amounts of buses.
Wasn't just a tactical failure.
Hey, Paul!
It was a preview of a political movement in its final, desperate phase, mistaking noise for influence and performance for power. The future of American politics will not be written by aging liberals hurling concrete blocks at federal agents in downtown Los Angeles. It's going to be written by the next generation, the generation that values faith, family, and genuine results over manufactured outrage and political cosplay. As Saturday's events made unmistakably clear, there's a vast difference between authentic political resistance like the MAGA movement that genuinely fought for real Americans at real cost and expensive, Soros-funded performative theater. The former builds lasting civilizational change. The latter provides temporary emotional satisfaction while accelerating political irrelevance. One humiliating, self-defeating, concrete block-throwing demonstration at a time.
Yep, it totally is. Okay, I'm going to get on with it here. Non-stop protesting in America. He talks about it.
I just got offered $200 a day to go protest ICE in New York. The organization was called No Kings.
$200 a day.
They said,
plus all this travel and all that food and all that it probably paid for.
June 14th, we're going to be protesting, and these are the streets that you need to be on, and this is what you need to do. You need to cause chaotic disruptions. And they said that there's going to be pallets of like bricks and different things everywhere that protesters could use. They really want to wreak havoc. It's kind of ridiculous.
They want to injure ICE and cops.
It's me as an American, although I need the money, I'm like, this is very, very unpatriotic. If I was to go take this money and go protest, it's not.
Thanks for stopping in. I know that you were running late and didn't think you'd make it.
Not very American. It's not what I stand for. It's obviously not even, worth.
Well, your whole bus trip and everything's paid for, Charles. They got endless money with our tax dollars. They don't want to stop all that money flow of the billions going to the luring center.
The time, but $200 a day is what they're paying people to go protest. The corruption is up here because it goes way beyond these organizations. They want to destroy America, and people like me that need money are gonna go do it. I'm not gonna go do it, but people are gonna go do it. They're gonna go destroy, the city and cause chaos.
Well, they get a lot of them in there that don't have any opinion one way or the other, and then they recruit them.
Yes. It's just crazy that, they're even paying people to go do this. It just goes to show that everything we deal with is corruption, and these people at the top level, like, who's paying for this? There's got to be some billionaires paying for this so that, they could try to get Trump out or something. But, $200 a day to go cause chaos is like crazy. Not worth it, but also like really fucked up.
Yep, I agree. Although this one was kind of fun. This guy would not use the other guy. This guy wouldn't use this trans guy's pronouns. Watch how mad this guy gets.
Sir, what do we think of Nick Fuentes?
What pronouns are she and hers?
Sir, what do you think of Nick Fuentes?
She or hers means I'm a woman. Every time you say sir is a felony in the United States of America, California, where we
Now, is that true? Does anyone know? Is it a felony to use the wrong pronoun with some dude that wants to think he's a woman?
It is. You need to look it up.
It's
You need
not
to
a
read.
felony.
It literally is. You need
So
to
I
read.
have to use she,
Have
her
it
pronouns?
read to you. Find
That's a
someone who can read
That's
what
a
that
felony.
means. It actually is.
Sir, that is not a felony. Not a felony, sir.
You're wrong and dangerous wrong.
Why is it dangerous?
Get this wrong. Pronoun abuse is a crime, stupid. In your career, whatever the fuck you think you are.
Thank you, sir. We love the support from the trans community.
That last support?
What? Sir, we can't hear you.
Have a nice day, sir.
I would do the same thing.
Felony one, felony one. Anybody else want to commit a serious hate crime?
Call the cops then, sir.
California. 911.
I've been saying, dude, relax.
You can never be doing what you're doing at all.
Then do it. Call the cops then if it's a felony.
You look stupid.
We misgendered them.
I think that was great, if you ask me. She says this can't happen.
The Speaker of the House has rejected the bill that the Senate passed earlier this morning or overnight. And here's why. I'm going to share with you what he said.
This gambit that was done last night is a joke. I'm quite convinced that it can't be that every Senate Republican read the language of this bill. And I'm going to just read you one excerpt of it because it's pretty alarming and it says everything that you need to know in Section 4. This is on page 2 of the bill. This is an actual copy of the bill, that excerpt. It says, quote, the contents printed under the headings of this bill, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Border Security Operations,
$50 an
under
hour,
the heading
Paul.
of U.S.
Wow.
Customs and Border Patrol and Protection, shall have no force or effect for purposes of this act and amounts specified in the final
Where's
bill
the money and funding? Yeah.
under the subheading Border Security Operations and under the heading U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
We got to have all the Republicans to have balls, so to speak, to cut all the funding. They're going to go on TV and decry how all these people are hurt by the money being cut from these programs. That's what they'll do.
And under the headings of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in the Department of Homeland Security shall be zero. We're not doing that. And it is unconscionable to me that the Democrats would force some sort of negotiation at 3 o'clock in the morning and try to horse
mentally ill.
the American people and then get on their jets and go home for their holiday.
So basically the Democrats shoved something else in there and made it
Might find some
not
cops that
clear.
will go with it.
But what it means is right here.
I
Let
can't
me
take
just
him
be
seriously,
completely unequivocal and put this out here in
Tam-
the open and
another
in the beginning
tampon
here
Tim, right?
to
Or
make
Lily.
clear the Republicans are not going to be any part of any effort to reopen our borders or to stop immigration enforcement. We are going
they're desperate to keep them flowing in.
to deport dangerous
You see, they keep control, then they can keep money laundering.
criminal illegal aliens because it is a basic function of the government. The Democrats fundamentally disagree. The Senate Democrats have hoisted upon this appropriations process their radical, crazy agenda. We call it crazy because that's what it is. They want to reopen the borders and they want to stop the deportation of dangerous criminal illegal aliens. We have to do these basic functions of government. We have to fund them in order to do them.
My interpretation of what Mike Johnson said, and I think he spelled it out pretty clear, is that the Democrats tried to sneak in there a way to reopen the borders. Yeah. And in the mad rush to get onto their holiday,
When they get back in power, they'll do that times 10.
everybody just said, yeah.
And guess what? All that money to get all those people in, that they're handing them money to get over the border and get on the planes and all this and that, it's come from NGOs. That's our tax dollars.
Government has gotten way too big. It's time to take a step back and be leery of anything.
You got to keep investigating, keep bringing it up there. That's how it ends in the long run. You got to push your leaders to do something about it. I don't think it's all going to happen at once, but we got to head in the right direction anyways. All right, here's the LAPD dropping the hammer on these violent protesters.
They got her! They got her!
Back up! I laugh at them.
Back up!
You think you can go and throw those bricks and all that kind of crap and get away with it?
Step back! Hey!
He's the area.
Enjoy your time in jail. Too bad it's not a little longer.
Don't be flinching at her, bro. Don't be flinching at her. Don't be flinching.
Hey, Jill.
Right here. back, please. Step back. Step
Fruit
back.
Loop, huh?
You're fine. Step back.
I wouldn't mind, Paul, if he did. And took his own life? John, I didn't hear about that one. It was in Texas somewhere there? Was it a trans? Because all of them lately have been trans that have been doing it, the shooting. Shoot me a little more details on that. I hadn't seen that one. I don't know. All right, here's some. Where did I lose my spot here? Was it this one? Oh, here's some more on that. All the arrests there. They're throwing bricks and broken up cinder blocks, and then they start getting arrested. Then they all run like flies. I hadn't heard about that one either.
Hey! Hold! Hey! I'll wait for you! Hey! Back up! His area!
They need to put them in more than a couple hours in these jails, a little longer, to make them figure it out, I tell you. Wait, how long ago was this shooting, John? Because I've been on Twitter on and off all day, and I hadn't seen it. I don't know. All right. What was this one? Oh, yeah. This is about the this lady wants us to report on ICE. Let's give her what she's asking for.
Governor Maura Healey wants us reporting on ICE with her new anti-ICE portal. You got it, Maura. Here's a picture of Eric German Pena, who ICE was unable to pick up before he murdered an American citizen named Ilias Mavros in your state. Mavros was found in his basement, bound with his skull bashed in. He was just a sandwich shop owner trying to make a living. ICE couldn't do their job properly because of politicians like you shielding illegal aliens with your un-American, unlawful sanctuary policies. Is this what you were looking for in the portal, Maura? Because this is what we're going to give you.
Touche on that. All right. The UN, this is not a conspiracy, as the way about security staff.
This is not a conspiracy. This is the new Jimmy Savile. UN security staff trafficked 14 and 15-year-old girls out of Moldova into Bosnia during the war, chained them up in a nightclub for the exclusive use of UN staff.
What do you mean that? Where they chained them where?
In cages in the nightclub. They were sex slaves trafficked by UN staff. Certain aid workers prevented families from entering refugee camps unless they handed over a child for sexual
Well,
favors.
that'd be 11 here.
So you can go on the record and say that the UN knew about it.
So it killed 2 people, killed 1 teacher, then themselves. It must have been targeted probably because they didn't try to shoot anyone else, John.
Oh, yeah.
And they were covering it up.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think this goes all the way to the top?
Yes. When there is a pandemic
details,
going on that is spread by bodily fluids, WHO staff, World Health Organization staff, were abusing women in Eastern Congo. The people who know this best are the women on the ground. There are now protests in Eastern Congo with women saying, please, UN, leave. You were supposed to bring us peace. You were supposed to bring us security. You did not bring us peace, and you raped us. Can you please leave? Mark Zuckerberg should go to jail. Trump is a funny beast. My DNA shows that I'm his 4th cousin, once removed via his mother, Mary Ann McLeod. All right, I'm going to say something publicly, and this is the first time I'm saying it to anyone.
I don't know about that. Anyways, well, the UN stuff I totally believe. All right, here's an Asian man saying Trump's not a king at the protest thing.
You support the protest?
I don't even know what they're protesting for.
They're protesting that Trump is a king.
Well, I don't think he's a king.
Why don't you think he's a king?
Well, what constitutes making him a king? There's a lot of leaders in other countries that they're dictator.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, but I think U.S. is probably the most democratic society already.
Yes.
I mean, it's not perfect, right?
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but they're not good. So far they're good compared to many other countries.
Yeah.
Right?
Like Trump's good compared to other countries.
Yeah, I mean, you have to compare. You cannot just say, he's not perfect. He's not perfect, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff that he do, I don't like. Some of the stuff he do, he's doing good.
What do you think about people saying that socialism needs to come here in America?
Need to come here?
Yes, people want socialism in America.
Well, this country is founded on what?
Capitalism.
That's right. So it's not socialism.
Yes.
Attempted murder.
If you don't like that, they can go to any socialist country.
Are they all illegals?
Yeah, they can go to any socialist country to leave.
Right.
Yeah. Why do you think they don't go?
They like the freedom, but the other side, they can't.
I bet you they're illegals.
Yeah.
I bet you they're all illegals, Colin. I don't know. I never heard of that school, huh? Oh, okay. It's probably somewhere in your area. I don't know. I was going to go with this one next. Now, this one, this Muslim guys, the cop was trying to stop him. This is a lady cop. Oh, there was a bunch of them, actually. And he breaks her face, basically. He breaks her face. It was hitting other ones. It took a bunch of cops to stop him. This lady is really in bad shape, if I got the right video in mind. If I got the right one here, let's see. Oh, yeah. It's a compilation of a bunch of them. So there's 2 Muslim guys, and they're being stopped at the airport, right? For what, security check or whatever. The lady takes part in it too. They're all white kids. That's unusual.
Easy.
It's unusual. Watch how bad this gets.
I'm with them, Tom's the fine.
I'm going to play the back part.
Are you okay? All right. Calm down, you can. Okay, you all right? Sit down for me.
16257. You're all right. 16257. Get a paramedic. Right.
Would be that way here too, Charles.
You're fine. We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it.
Calm down.
I'm going to replay the last section of that, right from about right here. Because it's split screen, it's hard to see both.
Easy. I'm with them, comms, they're fine. Are you okay? All right. Calm down, you can. Okay, you're all right. Sit down.
It's a good thing they outnumbered them, otherwise they would have been in real trouble.
Sit down for me. 16257. You're all right. 16257. Can we get a paramedic? All right. You're fine. We'll deal with it.
Calm down.
I don't know. Pretty serious. All right. If you want to know why the UK's given up so easily on their country.
I mean, this is just selfish.
Watch this. This lady's using plastic bags to put fuel in the plastic bags and putting them in her truck. It's insane. It's going to leak all over her car and could catch on fire and blow it up. It's insane.
Just look at her. Just absolute desperation. I mean, we're not going to run out of fuel, love. Oh my God.
Is that ridiculously dumb to do?
Oh, so now she's going to go and pay.
No, that's going to splash all over her car and leak out. Putting it in plastic bags? Get a friggin' gas can with a cap on the friggin' thing at least.
Stupid woman's just left the fuel car.
Probably went to college though. All right, here's one of your favorites, Karen Kennedy, talking about the No Kings rally attendees.
Well, a couple days ago, the No Kings protest took place on the 28th, or as I like to call it jokingly, the No Brains rally, because you clearly cannot have any type of functioning
Good point, John.
cognitive activity if you waste your day protesting against a king that does not exist.
They say with the males, it made them more female. Lost her testosterone.
You know what I found really weird is they had a No Kings protest in the United Kingdom where they are literally under King Charles.
You know, the cop got in the trouble for kicking that guy in the face, though, Dan. He did get in trouble. I guess he didn't get fired.
What the fuck? So, I find this one, there was a few of these videos. I mean, I've got one.
Need more men there, too.
But there are several of these where these old white liberal baby boomer types, like this one I'm about to show you, who always seems to, number one, try to be relatable, and number two, to try to act like she's standing in and jumping on her broom and flying across state lines.
Yeah, the woman was a cop.
Like I dialed 1-800 Save Me Whitey to save my black ass from the man. So she says in her little interview here, it's Nate Friedman. He's been doing this for a while. He's really good at it. But he interviews her and she literally just says something stupid like, oh, you know, Black people should not be out here.
Exactly,
you know,
John.
You need me to fight for you. And COVID. Because she has privilege, she's the one who needs to be out there. Dude, oh, Lord have mercy. Hold on. It's just fucking bizarre at this point.
She went to the learning center. Yeah.
That it's mostly people who look like you and I. And
This is not, it is not for Black people, for people of color to get out on the street. They're at risk when they do that. If anybody's going to get arrested here,
well, that's why you had to quit being a bartender.
It is not safe for them.
Too many bar fights, probably, Dan.
And they don't need to participate. We need to walk in their name.
Okay.
Okay. Well, okay. What do you think about voter ID? Do you think it's racist?
It's 100% a tactic to control the population and prevent people from voting, so that the only votes so that the gerrymandering can work, so that white
get it together
vote in white Christian males.
Hey, you've been
That's the one they hate, white Christian males.
I voted blue in the womb.
Hey, Rock.
Yeah.
If you had to vote for a Republican, JD Vance or Rubio, which one would you pick if you had to?
Yeah. I would slit my throat.
Really?
Yeah.
Why are you
Okay, so that is the kind of mental illness and absolute retardation that to which we refer, and y'all wonder why we call y'all retarded. This miserable, disgusting, Brillo pad hair looking old white liberal baby boomer who had the world handed to her ugly ass 50 years ago is now complaining and pretending that she is protecting my black ass from white males. Conservative, of course, because libs, they'll tolerate you. But conservatives, they have no patience or time. Lady, why don't you go and help animals or something on Saturday, volunteer your time and do something useful? Don't you have some grandkids or something? Don't you have something constructive that you can do with your time instead of sitting there pretending with this fake ass outrage that you care so much about black folks? Okay, liquidate all your assets, bitch. Sell your freaking house, you crusty old. Ooh. Sell your house. Liquidate all your assets, all your 401k, your entire portfolio, and give it to me.
Yep, the racist claim.
Then
that's the first thing they do.
When you say you care so much about black folks, you don't give a shit about black folks. You just need something to blame Trump for. The whole thing is so stupid.
They want to be victims.
And yeah, we're seeing the Craigslist ads. They paid people once again because this is so stupid that they cannot get an organic protest. You're going to get these crazy white liberal baby boomers because, you know, they pushing their walker. Get off my...
And at these events, they're trying to recruit them all, getting them into their socialist groups, their communist groups.
My lawn. Oh, this ain't my lawn. What? I don't need you to do that for me. You're not helping me. None of what you're doing, you're not willing to put your money where your mouth is. Until you, here's something for all you white liberal creeps who follow that big bub Bremolo, Randy Weingarten, who organizes all this shit, who is just a fat gluttonous loser who jumps around and screeches about President Trump all day. Ain't never had a child, but she's somehow head of teachers union or some crap, or she heads some kind of major teachers organization. Always screaming about our children. She ain't never had not nan child. And she's a lesbian. So what the fuck, dude? That's your example. Let me tell you something. If you're a white liberal, put your money where your mouth is. Liquidate all your assets, sell all your homes, sell your cars, and go and be homeless and give it to a black person. Other than that, shut
the whole race card is just to shut you up.
Fuck up. You ain't saying nothing we want to hear. You don't care about black folks. You never have.
Charlie.
You never will. You never did.
Oh, she's so right on target all the time, I tell you. All right, Minnesota's representative gets shut down for speaking the truth.
Have you seen this?
Come to our state. It's an invasion. It's an occupation. People are being kidnapped, not detained, not arrested, kidnapped. Rhetoric like that, and the stance that your party has taken from top to bottom, from Governor Walz all the way down, that there is no legitimacy to federal authority is nothing less than insurrectionist rhetoric. And that is why, take your moment. Take your moment. I got mine. Take your moment to digest that. Look it up. The number of lawyers that are laughing at me right now. Do you understand how the supremacy clause works? Do you understand what insurrection is? It's the undermining of federal authority. January 6th, thank you so much for bringing that up. You guys went on and on and on about that for what, 4 years? Yeah, it's still celebrated as a holiday on your side of the aisle. One riot on one day.
That's right.
It's an attack on democracy. You ran an entire election on it. For months and weeks on end.
Good one, Colin.
You had the top law enforcement officer in this state, the governor in this state, the mayor of Minneapolis, and many of you actively undermine federal authority when it comes to immigration law. And acting upon that.
This guy's a representative in the he's a black guy in a Minnesota House of Representatives, and saying this, where they are super racist.
That rhetoric, people like Renee Good and people like Alex Preddy put themselves in harm's way. They did what you
Point of order, Madam Speaker. Point of order. Personnel. They cut him off because he's right.
True that. All right, this is about the Massachusetts governor. Watch this.
Please pray for Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey. She has lost another one of her prized possessions. I mean, friends, when ICE kidnapped Kelly Alves Pereira. Now, Alves Pereira is wanted for murder in her home country of Brazil, but that doesn't make her a bad person. According
She's being sarcastic.
to Maura, people like Kayleigh are the glue that holds Massachusetts together. They are the golden threads in the tapestry of Bay State culture. They are the foundation upon which the cradle of the American Revolution sits. The state's brought in grief counselors to help progressive legislators get through this. And I have to point out that this never would have happened if only the people in Massachusetts had used Maura's anti-ICE portal and reported them. You know, guys, you could still have this killer at home with you right next door, but you failed your governor. Shame.
They always sound like yeah, they do. I agree with you, Rock, 100% there. I was going to jump on this medical one. This is coming out with something about a new vaccine or something. Here we go.
The shingles vaccine. So here we go. Here's the package insert. Shingrix, made by GlaxoSmithKline. Let's take a look. Section 5.2 under warnings. Post-marketing observational studies. Increased risk of GBS, Guillain-Barré syndrome, was observed during the 42 days following the Shingrix vaccine. This is not correlation, this is causation. Ingredients. This is grown in Chinese hamster ovary cells, and they tell us that there is residual amount of host cell proteins in the vaccine itself. It also contains polysorbate 80, in addition to an adjuvant. It's called AS01B. AS01B is a proprietary product to GlaxoSmithKline. It's also used in their RSV respiratory syncytial virus. The problem with this product is that it can overstimulate the immune system. It can cause severe local and systemic reactions. As a matter of fact, it's estimated that the systemic reactions can be in 50% of the recipients. In addition, there is limited safety studies on this excipient. There is a product within the excipient called QS21 that is shown to be cytotoxic at higher doses, that is toxic to cells. My favorite FDA section, of course, is 13.1. I am reading. Shingrix has not been evaluated for its carcinogenic or mutagenic potential. Translation, we don't know if this product could lead to cancer. And then the studies that brought this to market. Obviously, it's designed to prevent shingles, but most importantly, it's to prevent post-herpetic neuralgia, a complication of shingles. So in the package insert and the studies, the numbers needed to treat. If you're older than 80, you would have to treat 356 patients with the Shingrix vaccine to prevent one case of post-herpetic neuralgia. Of course, you don't know who that person is going to be, and all the other offer little benefit, and they get all the downside risk.
Yep. That sounds interesting. Okay, help out her girl here. Here, I'll just play it and you can...
How is this not all over the news? Still think the mainstream media isn't corrupt? This woman in Wisconsin lost her life because she supports Donald Trump. And the mainstream media is completely silent. Like, there's like 2 little news stations that have reported on this. Christine Jones was gunned down by an ex-coworker for supporting Donald Trump. Tell me again how weird the evil, crazy cultist and why the media is silent, completely silent about this. I bet if she was one of them no kings people, they'd be burning America down. So please, help me share her story. Let's be loud for Christine, because the mainstream media won't. The political violence needs to end. The censorship needs to end. The violence, the just unnecessary hate and vitriol because we love Trump and America. Rest in peace, Christine. And they're the reason that this political violence continues to thrive.
All right, the next one is the police ignore migrants harassing a woman in her own home.
Right, Alan, the time is 4:26. You're under arrest for malicious communications. You do not have to say anything, but you may harm your defence if you do not mention, when questioned, something which is later on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence, okay?
Oh, really, Marianne? I don't know exactly how it works. It has something to do with it.
Hold on a minute. So I've received information about a police officer, and now he's getting me done.
Oh, is that
You live in Wisconsin, yeah. Maybe it's in the water or the air there.
Well, I've received reports from members of the public, right, from an HMO that's been terrorised by migrants, right? She got terrorised for 7 months.
Haven't heard anything.
They didn't do nothing. And they told her, if you report it to the press, we'll arrest you for inciting racial hatred. That's what they said to her mother when migrants went into her house, terrorised her, looked through the window of her house, and hid in the back garden, started filming her and the kids from her house, and she went to the press and the police told her, the police told her, if you go to the press, we'll arrest you for inciting racial hatred. So because she said I'm going to the press, they got him out that night. But because I put her concerns out on the paper, they've arrested me again. Twice in 7 months to pick my door in. Because I'm worried, and the woman is petrified she was being harassed and terrorised by migrants. HMO in her home. But this is what a police officer is trying to get me done, right? Because I received reports.
What do you think of that one? All right, it even gets worse here. This is about the woman in London calling in.
Oh, I live in the borough right next to Hillingdon.
Yep.
And I moved into my house in 2019. My local shop, there's been 3 stabbings, 1 murder since then.
Wow.
My friend was murdered last year up on the high street. Girl I know was murdered in Southall Park. The government are failing us. I'm so scared for my children.
I thought it was real what you're talking about.
And I'm begging him to move.
Airplanes, vehicles they made.
Oh my goodness, I feel for you.
Around 100 or less, or less. Rock.
They're putting our children in so much danger. They're putting everyone in danger, and they're not doing nothing to help us.
Yeah,
and that's the thing a lot of us feel. That, you know, how many is too many?
They're pushing us to do something that we don't want
will
to
be.
do. We are
or sooner.
British people never vote against their government.
Yeah.
They'll probably make laws to bring more in once they get more control, John.
They're going to push us to it because they're not listening to us. Our friends,
they're going to have to put walls up in Poland.
Family are dying. I had a cousin murdered 20 years ago who was stabbed to death, and nothing's changed, Julia.
I'm so sorry, Sarah. I'm sure I speak for everyone listening and watching.
Already there in birth rates.
My heart goes out to you, and that's the reality.
I don't leave the house without a man.
You're that worried.
That's what it is in Islam countries. You have to have a man go with you. The women can't go alone.
Well, everyone I know is getting stabbed. They're getting raped in parks. This is where I live.
They
not
are
where the politicians live.
Do you think
the Green Party's willing to go with the Islamists? That's the same thing that's happening here with the socialist Marxists are going to go with Islam ones to take over the country. They want to take down America.
And that's part of the issue, that they don't live in the real world.
Keir Starmer, if you're listening to this, please do something.
Whether law
I'm
enforcement,
petrified. I've never broken the law in my life. I've been a law-abiding citizen.
You got to keep our Second Amendment.
Please.
Do you see what they passed in Virginia there, John? It's insane, the laws that they passed, except for they get exemptions for anyone who's a politician.
Do something. It's us that are dying on the streets. You talk about being racist. We're not racist. My sister's mixed race. I was a white child brought up in a mixed race family. Nothing to do with race.
Exactly.
To do with our safety.
Sarah, I mean, 100%. We agree with you every single word, and I'm so sorry. I'm sending you a big hug over the ether, and I'm sure everyone else is.
Yeah, boy, it makes it sick. And you probably can hear that every day on those shows all the time. Here's Katie Hopkins. Labor are throwing buckets of cash and loads at the voters to try to buy votes. You'll probably see this, Collins. They're throwing cash that they don't even have. They're probably printing money like crazy, which is crazy inflationary.
Breaking news here in batshit bonkers Britain, where Labour have announced a record handout to everybody that does bugger all in this country. Benefits claimants will get an extra 6.2%. MPs.
Oh, I'm sure the illegals will be getting even more.
Are going to get a $3,000 payout for their own cost of living crisis, plus a 5%.
When's your next election? I'm hearing the Labour Party's polling about dead last out there, although they'll cheat.
Pay rise, and for the very, very largest families in the UK, about 200,000 of them, you can imagine the nationalities of the people who don't work but have large families, can't you?
Rock, you weren't on yesterday. I did a video about up in Canada, the buyback program. It's something like way less than 2% of the people actually handed their guns in. Now they're going to go door to door to arrest them and take their guns from them in Canada.
I think a lot of them might be related to Shabana Mahmoud. They're going to get about an extra 10k a year when the 2-child benefit cap is lifted.
Colin, was he part of the whole knees up crowd during the whole China virus thing?
Labour at this point are basically buying votes, but man needs purpose, and purpose makes us better sorts of people, which is why tradespeople are so fantastic. Go on, the lads. In other news, we find out there was an anti-hate march across London at the weekend.
Yeah, whatever happened to Stammer being kicked out because of the Epstein stuff? I thought it was close to kicking him out then.
Weekend, anti-hate. I mean, there seemed to be quite a lot of hate for an anti-hate march. In fact, Zara Sultana Brown called for fighting in the streets. We will fight them in the streets. Come on, Zara. I quite fancy my chances against you. Let's go at it, girly whirly. Although I'm not one for incitement, obviously. And finally, the energy crisis, energy lockdowns. GB News doing their best to perpetuate the fear, saying the Isle of Man has run out of diesel. Oh my God. I mean,
bullcrap, it's just being blocked.
The Isle of Man hasn't run out of diesel, but don't let facts get in the way of a few clicks and eyeballs. Do remember, my darlings, in your heart of
they'll do more lockdowns.
Hearts, we will not comply with energy lockdowns. Soon we'll have people hoarding toilet paper and asking for a vaccine and a booster in order to survive the energy crisis. That's it. Batshit bonkers. Beautiful Britain.
At least the sun's out there and it's grass is growing. We have no grass here. It's too cold still. It's only been 60 for one day so far. All right, this is about the California election fraud. It's officially exposed. Here, he's going to talk about it.
So California just told you that 657,000 people voted in Riverside County on Prop 50. But the guy whose actual job it was to count those ballots, the registrar of voters, his own handwritten logs say 611,000 ballots came through the door. That's a difference of 45,896 votes. Just gone. Or maybe just
made up.
Appeared. Nobody knows. Now here's where it gets good. A sheriff, an actual sheriff with a badge and a gun and a court-issued warrant signed by a judge says, I'm going to go count those ballots myself. And the California Attorney General
you think there'll be some shootouts? Some people will probably hide some of their guns.
Loses his mind. Why would you try to stop someone from counting paper? I'm Ramin. Let's dig in.
This investigation is very simple. The Registrar of Voters maintained handwritten logs of the total number of ballots coming into the ROV. An audit of those logs received from the Riverside County Registrar of Voters allegedly shows 611,428 ballots were cast, but 657,322 votes were reported and certified to the Secretary of State. That is a difference of 45,896 votes.
So let me break this down like you're 7 years old running a lemonade stand. Your mom gives you 20 lemons.
No, they're not running out.
Single one.
It raises it up on the
cups
the
all
market.
Afternoon. At the end of the day,
it's always a speculation on how much they're charging for it. You know, they're cutting down about 20% of the oil going out of that area, almost. And you can go get away with, you know, going 2-3 months without that supply for a while, but eventually it does catch up with it.
Someone tells you sold 28 cups of lemonade, but you only had 20 lemons. Where'd the other 8 cups come from?
Venezuela's coming more and more back online, so that should help as well.
And that's it. That's the whole story. That's what's happening in Riverside County right now. 611,000 ballots walked through the door. 657,000 votes got certified in Sacramento. And the people responsible for that 45,000 gap are saying, hey, trust us. It's fine. It's within acceptable errors. Acceptable errors in an election for a ballot measure that redrew California's entire congressional map.
They had to push it through. They had to push it through, so they had to cheat.
I want you to remember that phrase, acceptable error. We're going to come back to it in a second. Now, let me give you the actual number. 45,896 votes. That's not a rounding error. That's not acceptable error. That's the population of a small city. That's a stadium.
Yeah, what sea is that up there that they can drill and pump more between Norway and England, somewhere there?
Full of people showing up without ballots. Because here's what people are missing. This wasn't some local school board vote. This was Gavin Newsom's baby. Prop 50, officially called the Election Rigging Response Act. This gave Sacramento the power to throw out California's Independent Redistricting Commission and redraw all 52 congressional districts to benefit Democrats. Maps redrawn by Democratic operatives in effect through 2030. It passed statewide 64% to 36%, over 8 million votes cast. So yeah, the phantom votes in Riverside didn't flip the statewide result. But that's not the point. The point is this. Republicans currently hold the House by 6 seats. 6. California's new maps are designed to flip 5 of those seats. Reps like Kevin Kiley, Darrell Issa, guys in redrawn districts that just got a lot bluer overnight. Now, if Democrats flip those seats in November 2026, they take back the House. And buried inside the election that made all of that.
Now, if you end up with 2 Republicans running for governor, that's probably not going to happen because down ticket, they tend to come out to vote for the governorship. And if they don't, it'll hurt them down ticket.
Not possible. 45,000 votes that nobody can explain in one county. Now, extrapolate. If Riverside County a 7% phantom vote rate existed across all 8 million statewide votes, that's over 500,000 ghost votes. 500,000. I'm not saying that happened. Nobody knows because they're
not telling us the truth. That's for sure. That definitely fixed. All right, I'm going to end on this one. This is in Japan. They're becoming more and more pro-American. And this group was trying to sing a song by the Carpenters. They didn't do too bad a job, considering they really don't know English that well. This is pretty good, actually. I used to like Karen Carpenter a lot. She did starve herself to death. I don't know who writes this song.
寂しさ押し込めて強い自分を守っていこう感じろこの道ずっと行けばあの街に続いてる気がする感じろただふと浮かんでくるふるさとの街丘を舞う坂の道そんな僕を叱っている街をこの道ずっと行けばあの街に
Yeah, I agree, Jill. I don't know the answer to that. I haven't been able to watch the later shows because I get so many messages of what's going on in Iran and stuff. I talk to a lot of people there, and it's going well according to them. The RIG is split up into 5 groups now. They're kind of squabbling with each other, and the mullahs are pushed out, except for one of the groups has got a mullah. It's the military wing that's still got control of it, and they're losing control. They brought in about 1,000 fighters from Iraq to try to keep the people from rising up on them, but they're losing. They're losing. It's just count the days and it'll happen. Some of the women bands, the Korean ones. この道ふるさとへ続いても僕は行かないさ行けない感じの Oh yeah I remember that Good one John Actually, it's not bad, not knowing English. Japan has changed their laws, so they're going to deport all the Muslims they have infiltrated into their country. They're going to deport them even if they become citizens. The new leader there is more Trumpy than Trump is. They won huge elections there, big sweep. They want them out. They want all the illegals out of their country. So it's making the housing cost so much and everything. All right, I got to get out of here. It's after 7. Take care. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.